Stick around because I am unleashing my ultimate unfiltered reactions right now on this broadcast. Expect massive takeaways, plus the inside scoop on a mystery Hoosier who absolutely stole the spotlight today. We are breaking down the relentless weapons who balled out for Fernando Mendoza, plus tearing into those explosive Von Miller whispers flying around. We will tackle the Miller drama shortly, but let us talk about Mendoza catching fire, pure ice in his veins out there. He commanded that showcase. The network dragged out the suspense, making us wait a full hour before he finally started launching missiles. Flood the comments with respect for our future franchise savior, because absolute heavyweights like John Spite and Clint Kubiak were watching closely. Drop his name in the chat right now. He is not officially locked in yet, but the sheer army of team personnel scouting him screams destiny. Holding that #1 overall selection changes everything. He might lack the uniform today, but the man practically bleeds silver and black already. Should his bloodline ever stumble upon this broadcast, they need to realize our entire fierce empire stands fiercely behind him. Let us dive straight into the madness of this spectacle. Out of 56 spectacular attempts, he perfectly executed 53. Listen closely, those 3 minor blunders were mostly receiver errors. That deep shot to Elijah Surratt, on game day that becomes a legendary diving grab, firing 53 flawless strikes in nearly 20 chaotic minutes. The entire internet is completely losing its mind over those staggering statistics. I cornered Tom, our resident prospect guru, the exact second the camera stopped rolling and demanded his raw assessment. His response gave me chills. Absolutely lethal, surgically precise, and unapologetically pure Mendoza. The undisputed narrative is officially locked in. He marched into that Hoosier facility and delivered an absolute masterclass today. His deadly precision left me speechless. He constantly threaded needles through impossibly tight windows that frankly defied basic logic. Imagine an ace hurler missing the painted corner by a fraction, yet still blazing a devastating fastball straight past the batter. The man displayed an unparalleled, razor-sharp touch across an incredibly diverse and complex arsenal of throws, slicing up defenses alongside wideouts and powerbacks alike. That is the undeniable magic you demand from a #1 overall crown jewel. John Spite demanded proof of his magnetic leadership. Watching elite warriors like Elijah Surratt and Mark Cooper Jr. fiercely sprint for him proved everything. Doubters will brush that off as nothing, but scour the entire league. Superstars rarely sacrifice their own bodies merely to elevate a teammate's stock. Just look at the glaring Longhorn situation. Sure, their current signal caller is not dominating the draft conversation right now. You had forgotten backups tossing the rock to defensive backs. Not a single offensive weapon even bothered lacing up their cleats. Meanwhile, his loyal soldiers rallied from minute 1, hyping him up relentlessly before he triumphantly stormed the painted turf. 10 savage warriors swarming their leader. That passionate huddle proved this roster possesses an unbreakable, fierce brotherhood. An absolutely contagious, unstoppable winning culture is brewing there right now, and his squad literally went to war for him today. He systematically conquered every single defensive tier, even though a tiny part of me craved watching him unleash pure, unbridled chaos. He later revealed they deliberately executed a ruthless, heavily orchestrated professional script, carving up the flats with total clinical precision. 5-yard surgical strikes, devastating posts, and breathtaking artillery bombs launched downfield that found their targets beautifully. This spectacle was far from some arrogant solo vanity project meant solely to elevate his own name. He brilliantly weaponized his spotlight to elevate his brothers chasing their own professional dreams, despite a couple minor misfires. If forced to grade this phenomenal exhibition, I stamp it a harsh A-, and that is me playing the absolute most ruthless critic imaginable. The pressure is practically stratospheric for a #1 selection. He clawed his way up from being a completely forgotten 2-star nobody. That cute Cinderella story is officially dead. When you are crowned the ultimate draft prize, you immediately become the hunted. The million-dollar question raised by Kubiak was incredibly simple. How does a champion respond when disaster strikes on a bad release? After a rare stumble, the kid instantly reloaded his cannon and fired an absolutely flawless dart on the very next breath. That ruthless amnesia mindset is precisely what elite coaches crave. I have plenty more explosive reactions dropping in mere moments. Smash that subscribe button right now. We deliver elite gridiron content, command a savage community, and go completely live tomorrow for happy hour. Our draft coverage remains entirely unmatched. We will leak those monumental selections long before the national broadcasts even receive the memo. I personally handed this exact apparel to the man himself. I confronted him head-on at the combine and stared our future commander right in his eyes. I am displaying this image not to push cheap merchandise, but to prove I seized the very front row at his explosive combine press conference. Nobody will ever outgrind my hustle. And what makes this kid an absolute legend? A borderline psychotic obsession with claiming victory. He will literally sacrifice everything to win. You might despise my aggressive takes from time to time, and I guarantee that. However, if you truly bleed our dark colors, you know my squad goes to war. I stood first in line because my loyalty to this savage empire is relentless. You warriors arrive daily, so I grind fiercely in return. Let us attack my final fiery demands for our future star before I unleash the remaining analysis. Let us break down the tape. Sure, he misfired once, but the pure resilience to instantly recover and deliver an absolute laser right after that mistake was breathtaking. That is the exact killer instinct scouts crave. Elite quarterbacks need amnesia, and Mendoza proved he can instantly flip the switch and ignite the offense. When launching those gorgeous deep bombs, he dropped an absolute masterpiece right through Elijah Surratt's grasp. Honestly, seeing Surratt stay on his feet instead of sacrificing his body frustrated me. Champions lay it all on the line for a pass like that. However, his massive downfield strike to EJ was simply breathtaking. We are talking truly elite precision, landing dead center in the ideal catch radius. No quarterback alive could have placed that pigskin any better. Then he followed it up with another spectacular rocket tearing down the right sideline. The exact target escapes my mind right now, but he also fired a mesmerizing bullet toward either Roman Hebe or Kane Black. Now that I think about it, Hebe caught that boundary laser. Yet dropping a delicate rainbow perfectly into a tailback's hands proves his genius-level football IQ. A master general knows you cannot fire the same aggressive missile at Omar Cooper or Elijah Surratt that you tossed to Kane Black, Roman Hebe, or Riley Nowakowski. Before I drop my next explosive takeaway from this showcase, grab the legendary apparel I am wearing through the link below at chatsports.com/Mendoza. You can secure it in midnight black or crisp white. Knowing how massive and passionate our Raiders Nation gets, I know exactly what dimensions you demand. For our absolute giants out there, we stock this premium gear in every fit imaginable, maxing out at 5 extra large. Hit those links instantly. If you already conquered this drop, arm yourself with more exclusive Raiders Report merchandise over at chatsports.com/rrshop. Over 100 diehard fanatics secured their Mendoza jerseys today alone, banking on his spectacular potential before he even signs a professional contract. If you believe destiny calls his name on April 23rd, you better claim yours immediately before stock vanishes. Now, brace yourselves for the next major Pro Day revelation. His concluding toss lacked explosive velocity, trailing slightly behind. Honestly, Omar Cooper losing his footing 2 or 3 times likely sabotaged their crucial rhythm. The signal caller clearly anticipated a more controlled route, but Cooper exploded off the line like a rocket, forcing an awkward deceleration downfield. To put this into a proper perspective, think about the absolute pressure of sinking a buzzer beater on the basketball court. Leaving the hardwood after bricking your final attempt is an absolute crime in my eyes. It exposes a devastating lack of killer instinct. Let me be brutally honest. When I launch that final shot, it absolutely must be a flawless game-winning swish through the net. You have to exit the arena riding the high of absolute perfection, and sadly, his ultimate pass fell drastically short of true greatness. In my eyes, it was an incredibly underwhelming finish to an otherwise electric afternoon. He desperately needed a much more dramatic finale. Yet, I must give massive respect to Indiana and their quarterback for executing an absolutely brilliant Clint Kubiak-style masterclass today. What exactly does that mean? They unleashed a mesmerizing arsenal of complex patterns, featuring explosive sprint outs commanding both flanks of the gridiron. From dynamic shotgun formations to punishing strikes hitting tight ends, fullbacks, and the flats, they aggressively attacked every single blade of grass. The true magic here was watching them deliberately spotlight every weapon on the roster, proving this was never just a solo exhibition. While fans focused purely on the quarterback, this was a legendary showcase of Hoosier dominance. They engineered a masterful blueprint highlighting every playmaker's absolute greatest strength. Time and again, you witnessed an elite pass catcher violently snapping off their break with terrifying speed. Before they even fully rotated their hips, the missile had already left the pocket, striking them dead center on the numbers with lethal accuracy. Minus the actual battle armor, that is the exact supernatural anticipation a franchise quarterback must possess. Now, prepare for the most earth-shattering update of the day. Breaking news just dropped. The Las Vegas Raiders are hosting this phenomenal prospect for an exclusive high-stakes dinner this evening. This development is absolutely monumental, perfectly mirroring the exact aggressive strategy John Spytek and the offensive staff deployed a year ago. They famously dined with Ashton Jeanty alongside his Boise State commander, inevitably drafting the superstar 6th overall in 2025. While nobody is shocked by this aggressive pursuit, officially confirming a top 30 summit with Vegas sends massive shockwaves through the entire league. An elite invitation felt inevitable, yet seeing it confirmed in writing undeniably amplifies the staggering, explosive hype surrounding this kid. Securing a private evening summit essentially guarantees their ultimate master plan is already in motion. The writing is permanently on the wall. Shifting focus to the other warriors on the field, D'Angelo Pons emerged as an absolute conqueror right behind the star quarterback. Word on the street claims an unofficial 4.25 40-yard dash, eventually solidifying at a terrifying 4.32. This kid is a mutant. Meeting him face-to-face revealed his smaller frame, but detonating for a massive 43.5-inch vertical makes him a terrifying threat. An absolute gladiator fueled by endless competitive fire, clocking blazing legendary speed. Furthermore, watching the entire receiving corps step up was an absolute spectacle. Every single tailback, tight end, and wideout who stepped onto that turf to catch his fire truly went to war today. Their fearless display of solidarity undoubtedly sent a massive warning shot to all 32 professional franchises aggressively scouting the event. Critics desperately questioned the true firepower of this roster, wondering if the collective unit merely masked glaring individual weaknesses. Did head coach Cignetti orchestrate a massive illusion, or did riding the coattails of Heisman winner Fernando Mendoza artificially inflate their legendary success? Today utterly destroyed that false narrative as these warriors went to battle. They showcased an unstoppable elite brotherhood, snatching every single missile out of the sky. Listen, we only saw 2 drop passes at Mendoza's showcase today. The Raiders brought a massive entourage. Here are the 8 heavy hitters I confirmed on the ground. NFL Network reported 10 Vegas representatives showed up. My insider source only slipped me 8 names this morning, and here is exactly who he mentioned. John Spytek, Clint Kubiak, Brian Stark, Brandon Jurgen, Brandon Hunt, Andrew Janoko, Mike Sullivan, and Mark Hughes. I can absolutely verify those 8 executives were in the building, even though the national broadcast insisted 10 Vegas officials made the trip today. I am hunting down the identities of those final 2 executives. Even without knowing them, witnessing this spectacular Indiana showcase was truly something else. After watching his legendary national title run, I actually cornered Fernando at the scouting combine. I had to ask him one hard-hitting question. I looked him in the eye and asked, "What is your message to the franchise that dares to pass on you?" I was baiting him. I desperately wanted him to show that killer instinct and explicitly declare why he belonged in silver and black. Watch this explosive footage of my direct interview with the future star. Afterward, I will break down his spectacular workout. He has to go first overall. What is your message to teams passing on you? Absolutely nothing. This draft class is utterly loaded. We just watched those incredible Ohio State prospects dominate yesterday. We have an elite group of Indiana stars entering the league right now, and I am simply blessed to stand alongside these absolute warriors. Zero resentment from my end. Front offices have brutal business decisions to make. My only mission is maximizing my potential for whichever incredible franchise calls my name. I will be thrilled going first overall or completely dropping to pick 199. Thankfully, Vegas fans will never watch our front office pass on this kid, but you know I desperately crave the raw opinions from Raider Nation. Grab your metaphorical grading pens, painted blazing Indiana red. Sound off below and grade this epic workout from A to F. Be absolutely ruthless with your scores. You must demand perfection when evaluating the projected #1 overall selection. Going first overall completely shreds any underdog narrative. The stakes are astronomically high, and this kid carries the weight of massive expectations. Did he deliver the magic you wanted? Drop an A, B, C, D, or F. My personal verdict? He earned a rock-solid A-. I withheld the perfect score strictly because a couple of deep bombs sailed slightly off the mark. I demanded sheer perfection today. If we frame this phenomenal performance in baseball terms, he absolutely shoved for 8 or 9 gritty innings. Maybe he avoided allowing a run, but he definitely surrendered a couple of hard hits. Was it flawless? No. But unleashing that caliber of performance will ruthlessly secure the victory and pad the win column almost every single time. I was absolutely blown away by his showcase today. Factoring in his dominant playoff run and today's fireworks, combine his spectacular regular season tape, today's throwing clinic, and our intense interview at the scouting combine, we can boldly scream this message to John Spytek, Clint Kubiak, Mark Davis, and Tom Brady, to every single executive watching. Rush that draft card to the podium right now. He is the ultimate top prospect and our definitive future commander. He fiercely proved today that he executes a game plan with absolute surgical precision. He is the absolute epitome of a franchise savior because he forces his teammates to elevate. Yes, we are 23 agonizing days out, 23 days left. I am deadly serious. I am counting the seconds until Roger Goodell takes that stage and announces the first selection of the 2026 draft. Hearing him declare the Las Vegas Raiders select Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza, we will finally exhale that massive sigh of relief because he is the absolute destiny of this franchise. I am 99.9% certain he is locked in, but I am fiercely eager for the official moment. If you want to experience that explosive moment live with me, smash subscribe and activate notifications. It will be the most chaotic draft party we have ever hosted. Fernando Mendoza absolutely shattered expectations during his electrifying showcase, proving beyond a doubt that blinding pressure only fuels his fire when the stakes are highest. Firing a staggering 53 strikes across 56 rapid attempts revealed terrifying precision, while simultaneously exposing an unbreakable laser-focused mindset amidst the absolute chaos. Any tiny slip-up or blown route simply bounced right off his armor. He instantly recalibrated and unleashed pure magic on the immediate follow-up snap. That rapid mental reset and bulletproof toughness perfectly defined top-tier field generals surviving the absolute war zone of actual combat. The electric, almost telepathic bond between the gunslinger and his receiving corps truly stole the entire show. This was absolutely no ordinary practice drill. The explosive gridiron energy radiated an unbreakable, fierce brotherhood united by an unyielding hunger for ultimate glory. Targets attacked their paths with blistering desperation, fighting through gravity for impossible grabs, while their commander unleashed perfectly placed dimes to reward their sacrifice. Such supreme trust forged an unstoppable offensive heartbeat, generating a flawless, synchronized flow that effortlessly sliced through intense, suffocating pressure. The brilliantly brutal design of the gauntlet spectacularly exposed the quarterback's deadly, multifaceted arsenal. Unleashing everything from blistering quick strikes to majestic, skyscraping bombs, the grueling session forced him to weaponize every single facet of his terrifying arm talent. Masterfully dialing up pinpoint touch, violent speed, and flawless rhythm revealed his genius-level command over absolute offensive warfare. He completely bypassed relying on one singular trick, unveiling a chameleon-like dominance ready to hijack and conquer any professional playbook thrown his way. Above all the physical fireworks, his warrior mentality stole the spotlight. He ignored the shallow hype of flashing before evaluators, choosing instead to stake his relentless claim as an enduring titan built for the brutal professional trenches. That fierce, unbreakable resolve bled into every single lethal toss and confident stride he took. While desperate franchises hunt for draft day saviors, prospects fusing freakish athleticism with cold-blooded discipline and magnetic command naturally rocket to the absolute apex. This spectacular exhibition violently cemented his destiny as an unstoppable, franchise-altering cornerstone destined to terrorize the ultimate level of the sport. His mind-bending, almost psychic field anticipation fiercely shattered the ceiling, violently separating him from every other struggling prospect. He fearlessly launched the pigskin long before his weapons ever snapped their brakes, riding pure, unshakable faith in the play design and their lethal positioning. Firing blindly into the future is a survival mandate in the big leagues, where microscopic passing lanes vanish against lightning-fast predators. Showcasing this supernatural foresight proved he is playing multidimensional chess, operating at a terrifying mental velocity that rivals legendary franchise icons. Furthermore, his masterful manipulation of sheer airborne flight paths was absolutely mind-blowing. Bypassing brute force, he unleashed a mesmerizing arsenal of silken floaters, threading needles, and majestic moonshots that perfectly parachuted into waiting fingertips. Such devastating variety is a lethal weapon against elite secondaries, granting him the sheer magic to drop payloads in untouchable, ghost-like windows. Morphing his release for every unique battlefield scenario exposes a deeply refined, surgeon-like mastery over the quarterback position. We must deeply acknowledge how he completely absorbed the crushing, suffocating gravity of carrying that projected #1 crown. While that colossal spotlight devours lesser men, he charged into the arena armed with ice-cold, unbreakable composure. Refusing to chase cheap viral highlights, he stayed dangerously disciplined, favoring cold, ruthless execution over meaningless, flashy theatrics. Such cold-blooded logic proves he grasps ultimate professional survival. Master the scheme, weaponize your choices, and dodge fatal blunders. Ultimately, the seismic shockwaves of this breathtaking spectacle completely shattered traditional scouting metric. It fiercely cemented his godly aura as a commander who single-handedly supercharges every weapon around him. Igniting the turf with flawless play while unlocking his teammates' hidden potential, he defined pure, undeniable leadership in motion. Desperate front offices crave more than mere arm strength. They are hunting a savage catalyst capable of radically mutating an entire locker room's DNA. Judging by this explosive crucible, he violently checks every single box required to anchor a dynasty and become the beating heart of a championship powerhouse. A staggeringly crucial weapon unearthed during the gauntlet was his relentless, metronome-like tempo across the grueling marathon. Unloading over 50 consecutive bombs with zero drop-off and deadly precision demands Herculean stamina and a downright terrifying internal clock. He masterfully hijacked the heartbeat of the drill, refusing to panic or let exhaustion derail his flawless throwing motion. Such robotic consistency screams that he is tailor-made to weaponize a hyperspeed offense, orchestrating brutal scoring drives while leaving scrambled defenses gasping for air. Just as mind-blowing was his icy response to momentary chaos on the turf. If a bullet missed its mark or a path collapsed, he utterly refused to let the failure infect his psyche. He instantly wiped the slate clean, unleashing an absolute laser on the very next snap. That bulletproof mental armor is the holy grail for signal callers, surviving a brutal battlefield defined by suffocating duress and inevitable setbacks. Bouncing back with relentless fury to drop more dimes screams of a dangerously vicious win-at-all-costs gladiator. The explosive spectacle exposed his brilliant mastery over high-stakes situational combat. Every single bullet carried lethal intent, mimicking real-world combat rather than just flexing his God-given cannon. Threading needles on quick slants or launching absolute bombs into impossibly tight windows, the young gunslinger proved he possesses a lethal mastery over every possible game script. That elite mental processing is the ultimate separator in the pros, where split-second choices dictate pure victory or devastating defeat. This showcase completely shattered the narrative that he just